be doing these Friday night lives with you to help you clear the energy from the week or from the month or whatever we need to do. But I want you to also stick around because once we clear the energy and you kind of integrate that, we want to help you connect to the other side, whether that's to a loved one on the other side or guides, your angels, your higher self. It doesn't matter. Like all of it's good, all of it's part of you. So we want to help you with that on a regular basis. And that's why Friday we're going live. So today I want to talk about how you don't have to have grief if you have this relationship through the veil. And I also, at the end, after we talk about this, and I do a guided exercise with you to to connect. I also want to talk about psychic protection because that's something that comes up a lot, especially when anybody teaches spiritual and psychic development. People have all these weird ideas about, I got to protect myself here. And I want to clear the air on that because you really don't understand who you are as a soul if you think that somebody could psychically attack you. Okay, that's just a belief system, and we're going to talk about it. But that's what's important, to clear your energy and reset your belief system so you got the right belief, okay, instead of these out of whack beliefs that have been spread by, in most cases, well-meaning spiritual teachers, sometimes ignorant teachers, whatever. But Ellen and I have been in this field for 38 years, so we kind of seen it all. And when I first took a class quite a while ago, by a very well-known teacher, and they were talking about having to cut cords and things, and I thought, what are you talking about? Why? So I'm going to talk about that later. Is really important. So if you're dealing with what you think is psychic attack and you're wanting to protect yourself, you want to stay to the end because this is really going to help you. Okay. Because there's no need for you to walk around feeling like people are courting you, attacking you psychically, and all these things are happening to you and you feel like a victim. No, you're not a victim. You are source energy in a physical body. And once you really get that, once you really embrace that, everything else becomes simpler. Not necessarily easier, because life in the physical plane isn't always easy. We get it. But it's simpler because you understand, wait, I'm actually God in a body. And so is everyone else. I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm equal to everybody else. Okay? Two different things. You're not better than, you're equal to, and everyone is a reflection of source. That is what's going to get you through these chaotic times. It is going to get a bit worse before it shifts and gets better. That's kind of par for the course when we're talking about transformation. We're talking about the awakening of the planet. Okay, it's like the old has to break down to make way for the new. And it's like birth. I mean, if I'm talking to any mothers out there, and I gave birth, and that wasn't an easy experience. Birth is no cakewalk. It's like it is the most difficult thing most women experience, and yet it's the most incredible thing, right? Because at the end of it, if all goes well, you have this beautiful soul that is your child. So in a way, that's what's happening now. Like we're in the throes of birth process, you could say, correct? Maybe you could say, we're going through labor pains. And my apologies to the men who are going, what? I don't understand. And even the women who haven't given birth, we get it. But those of you who are parents, because even if you're a man and your partner had a baby, chances are like, oh yeah, she went through a lot. that wasn't always easy. I understand. Okay, so it's like that. So humanity is kind of going through that, kind of going through the labor pains of giving birth to a new world. And so we can't expect it to be seamless and easy, and there will be parts that will be easy, and then there are parts that will be bumpy and all over the place. Okay, so let's start right away by getting you cleared of the energy of the week. Okay, I don't want you necessarily to go back and think about, oh, like whatever happened that kind of went wrong or that you didn't prefer, that was a bit negative. I don't want you to go back to give more energy to that, because what you think about grows. So, just let it go. We're not going to think about it. But I want you to, right now, in this moment, close your eyes and just get a sense of your energy in your body right now. And there's no right or wrong with this. It's like whatever you're feeling in yourself is what you're feeling. And the reason I want you to do this, because I want you to start getting used to feeling your own energy, so that you know when your energy is aligned and flowing with who you really are and when it's not. And the only reason it won't be aligned with who you truly are is because you're thinking thoughts in that moment, around that time, maybe it could have been just before that. You're thinking thoughts that don't reflect your higher self's truth. In other words, you're choosing negative thoughts. So maybe with what happened with Congress passing that great, big, beautiful bill, and we're apolitical here, okay? So don't get upset. We're not taking sides. We just know that most people are upset, and we acknowledge that. We can acknowledge that without, taking sides. And so if that happened, you might be thinking of that and worried about it for yourself or others. And therefore you're kind of letting your energy like leak because you're choosing to go into fear, anxiety, or worry. And no matter what happens or doesn't happen, that isn't going to serve you or anybody. The more you can stay focused now in the present, the more you hang on to your power and you're able to deal with whatever happens. So it's always best to reclaim your energy and just stay centered, even in the midst of chaos, crisis, confusion. The interesting thing is that most people, when they are faced with a crisis and it's happening in the moment, they tend to get laser focused. And trust me, I know not everybody does. Some people completely break down, but a lot of people get very focused. It's like their higher self kind of kicks in and goes, okay, we got to take care of this. And after we take care of it, okay, maybe then we'll break down. Maybe then we'll, start crying or freaking out. But right now I got to deal with this. And this is how you are wired. Even your physical mind will get on board and goes, okay, I got to deal with this. I got to deal with this crisis. And your higher mind will come in and go, yes. And so interestingly, that's when the full you oftentimes gets on board, because the physical mind knows I'm in an emergency, something's going on, I got to deal with it. And the higher mind, who is always on alert, always aware, not in panic, not in fear mode, always alert to what may happen to guide us, okay? So it just comes in. And so people oftentimes just know, oh, I need to do this. I need to do that, right? That's a very common reaction. Unless somebody is so distorted, yeah, they just completely fall apart. Okay, that's a different story. But not everybody goes into that breakdown mode. Okay, you can self-assess and sense like, am I like that? Am I not? Most of you are not. So right now, as I said, close your eyes and I want you to just call all your energy back from wherever you left it. And you don't have to know where you left it. You don't have to think about where that might be. You just use your intention, the power of your intention, to call it all back. I'm calling all of my energy back from wherever I left it. It all belongs to me. And I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing back all my worry thoughts about others, my fears about what I heard or observed or read. I'm bringing all of that back. I don't need any of that fear stuff. I don't need any of that negativity, but I'm bringing my energy back because I might have left it. with people and places and things. I'm bringing it back, calling all of it back. And I want you to feel or imagine or sense in some whatever way you can that it all does draw into you. Okay. There really is no such thing as, quote, negative energy in the sense of bad energy. It's just that you're meant to run in your space, just your energy. So if you're running other people's energies or running like fear thoughts, which are negative energies, right? That don't really reflect who you are as a soul, because your soul's not worried about anything. I have news for you. Your physical mind kind of worries about a lot, but that's not all of who you are. You're also this soul. Who knows? It's not going to work out. So when you let go the negative thoughts that don't really belong to you, you've taken it on, you've enmeshed it in your energy field, and you let it go, and you bring back your energy that maybe you have been worrying about people, or even the world, or you just bring it all back and say, I'm just going to be me. Now I want you to bring that back, and I want you to sit with your energy for a moment here. I just want you to feel it. Really feel it. Really feel into that. This is me. This is me. If you want, you can say our favorite affirmation. I am one with all that is. I am one with all that is. Or you might just say, I am one. I am one. Or you can even simplify it even further and say, I am. I am. Which basically translates to I am and I exist. I am. So either say, I am one with all that is. I am one with all that is. I am one with all that is. Or you can say, I am one. I am one. I am one. Or you can say, I am. I am. I am. And just sit with you, with your energy. I'm just going to let you sit with this for a minute, okay? Just be in your energy. Get a good feel of it. This is important because in order to discern the energy of your loved one on the other side, or a guide, or an angel, or any being who's non-physical, right? It helps if you know the difference between your energy and their energy. But first, you got to start with really knowing your energy. Because it does have a feeling to it. And right now, you're pretty much, I'm not saying everybody is, pretty much though, right now, you're more centered in your energy. Could your energy be more elevated? Well, of course. Of course. But right now, for the most part, you're more present, right? You're more centered. This is not about you necessarily getting deeply relaxed. And it's fine if you do right now, it's okay. But when we're wanting to interact with the other side on a more day-to-day basis, when I mean day-to-day, I mean like when you're doing your dishes or you're walking the dog or you're going to Whole Foods or whatever you're doing, you can actually engage with the spirit world. You don't have to go into deep meditation. That is one way. But I don't want anybody to think that that's the only way, or that's even the best way. What does that mean anyway? Best way. Whatever way works for you is the best way. But why not have a broader definition of how and where to connect with spirit. You don't have to be sitting in lotus position on the floor meditating with incense, okay? You could simply be walking down the street and all of a sudden pick up on a spirit, again, whether that's a loved one or a guide, or an angel even. So just still focus on your energy, being in your space, being in your energy, and as you listen to me, okay? Because I'm still kind of infusing you with this knowing of your energy. So just listen to me, be really focused, because you can do more than one thing at a time. You're a spirit. So you can listen to me and at the same time be very present in your field, present in your body, present in your energy. Yet listening to me, really focused, taking in what I'm saying, not drifting away, being really focused. This is what we want to do when we're going through our life in our day-to-day. Be very focused in the present moment and yet have this expanded perception so that we're aware. We're not oblivious to what's happening around us. It doesn't throw us what's happening around us. We're aware of it, but it doesn't distort us. We're very aware, and that's how you will have more interaction with the other side if that's what you choose. It's a choice. You don't have to have it. If anybody's listening here going, I don't want that, I don't want that. You don't have to have it. You get to create the reality you want. But our channel here is all about after-death communication. So kind of laughing like, okay, well, why are you here then? Want after-death communication? This is what it's about. So be fully present with your energy, right? And feel that. I want you to get that locked in to your cellular memory. Oh, this is my energy. Because for some of you, this may be the first time you ever stopped to feel your own energy. Some of you, it's like, what? I have energy. I have an energy body. Like, what? So it's okay. So just bring, as I said, bring your energy back today. And anytime during the week, right? Don't have to wait till next Friday when we talk to you again. Anytime after this and through the week, if you feel like you're out of it, call your energy back. Call your energy back. You don't have to take a special class to do this. Because your consciousness, the spirit that you are, knows how to do it. But you have to say, oh, call my energy back. Because your higher self, your soul, is not going to do that. You know, you might wonder, why? Doesn't it know that I need help? Doesn't my higher self know that I'm struggling? Here it's the newsflash, people. Your higher self, just like your guides and your angels and even your loved ones, not all of them. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but not all of them, but most of them, know that whatever you're experiencing can be used for your growth. So it's not going to automatically jump in and go, oh, well, we need to call back her energy. You know, she's leaked it all over the place. It's not going to do that because it's knows that you can learn from that, and you will. You can. Okay, you might choose not to, but you can if you want. Right now, loved ones on the other side, not all of them are going to, let's say, like not interfere in that sense. Like they may try to get in there and fix everything or whatever. But even that, that effort on their part won't always succeed because your higher self is really the one in charge. Like you are in charge of you. But again, your higher self realizes, well, whatever struggles they're having, it's all available for their growth. It's all okay. So it's never going to worry about it. It knows that you're eternal, you can't be destroyed. And during these challenging times, it will really help you if you remind yourself of that. Wait, I can't be destroyed. I'm eternal. There's some temporary challenges right now, but everything always changes. That's one of the laws of creation, that everything changes. So this too shall pass. And yeah, in your mind, you might be saying, yeah, and the sooner the better, please. I would like this to pass. Like, I get it, but it will last however long it lasts. Okay, so you can find your strength through this. So we invite you to see that, right? Like, I can get through this and grow stronger, because that's what can definitely happen for all of us. That times that are challenging, it really stretches us. It's like a workout, right? It's like, okay, I'm really getting strong here. I have to call on energies and resources and positive beliefs that I never had to use before when things were easier. Now I've got to really get myself in gear. I really have to line up my energy with who I really am. That's the way forward. I mean, it's always the way forward in anything in life, but during chaotic, challenging times, it's kind of the only way forward, because otherwise you're just going to fall apart, like most people are going to fall apart. And so if you see people around you falling apart, if you want to help them, put your own oxygen mask on first, right? Like they say on the plane, and then help them with theirs. But first, you take care of you, focus, center yourself, be present in your body, be present in your energy, remind yourself that this too shall pass, and that you are an eternal being and you have guidance from your higher self, from your soul, from God, from source, because it's all the same thing, because you are God in a body. So you have access to that. And the more stable and centered you are, the more easy it will be for you to get that guidance, to get that download, to get that insight, could get that idea that could make a big difference, could even change your life, perhaps. It happens for people all the time. But the average person shrugs it off and thinks, I don't know, that was weird. They just don't even understand that their higher self and the spirit world are constantly communicating, trying to help, trying to support us, trying to inspire us with a solution to a problem or an idea that could turn into a new life path, maybe a new career, improve their relationship with others and even themselves. Spirit is always communicating. It's just that it's not always in language. It can be in, again, a feeling, an impulse, like you feel like drawn to do something or learn something. Is many different ways it comes in. It's multisensory. But once you start understanding that's how it is, and start being more aware when and if that happens, then you open a whole door to spirit communication. Okay, because it's really natural. What's unnatural is shutting yourself off from it. You actually kind of got to work really hard at that. You actually have to have very strong negative limiting beliefs that spirit communication is wrong or scary or impossible or only for gifted people, or and on and on and on. Okay, that's all rubbish, because you were born as a soul, and the soul is 100% psychic, and you, by virtue of being a soul and being psychic, it means you're a medium. You can deny it all you want. You can say, but I haven't taken a workshop, I haven't taken a training, or is a mediumship a gift? No, it's like saying being human is a gift. Well, maybe it is, I think it's a gift to be in a body. Some people might argue with me right now anyway, and say, I wish I wasn't here. But if you're here, it's because your soul chose to be here. That is a gift. Okay. But no, it doesn't make them special at all. It just means they have a lot of practice at it and they believe in it. They believe in their ability. You, on the other hand, haven't had that belief encouraged or even have been aware of it, right? So how would you have that? Like you even thought the opposite, that being a psychic, being a medium was something very rare. If you had that belief, then that's the reality you created. But it's not true. So if you want spirit communication, the first thing you've got to do is let go of that limiting false belief and understand who you truly are. An eternal being, by virtue of being a soul, is 100% psychic. And if you believe you are, then you're going to start to access all of your abilities. And if in this life, part of your theme is to more explore that, like more use that, then you will, because it's part of your theme, part of your purpose for being here. And that would mean you feel really drawn to developing it and you're going to use it in some way because that's why you feel curious about it or intrigued by it or drawn to it. That's how your higher self works. It lets you know by sending you this curiosity about it or fascination on the topic. And even if you're not going to be a professional psychic or a medium, just to have those abilities more at your fingertips, if you will, right? And having access to it and being able to use it is going to improve your life. Most people who are very successful in this world have been able to do that because they trusted their intuition, even if they didn't call it that. Many people would just say, oh, I just trust my gut. I trust what I feel. What do you think that is? That's what it is. All right, so we're talking about psychic ability being inherent in everybody. Just like everybody can sing, but some people sing amazingly, like Barbra Streisand or somebody, right? Or Celine Dion, that kind of, when some people just can barely hold a tune, but everybody can sing pretty much. But the degree varies. Even someone with an average voice, if they took voice lessons, they could refine that. I know people who have done that in the course of my life. I've had friends who took voice training because they wanted to be able to sing better, but they weren't like opera level or like pop star level, right? They're not incredible singers. Alan had a great voice too. He was in a band when he was young, and he wanted to continue that, but then he realized he had to make a living, got married, and went down that road. But everyone has basic ability. Well, that's how psychic ability is. And you can just access it. It's not complicated. You don't have to take long trainings. So I want to check in with you now. I want you to check in on your energy and tell me how you're feeling right now. Tell me if you feel different. And we're streaming to YouTube. So let me know in the comments there, YouTube, like, how are you feeling right now? How would you describe your energy? If you could give it a name or a feeling or a color, how would you describe your energy? Maybe when we did that exercise, or maybe right now, how would you describe it? This is important because we are energy beings and we can describe how we're feeling. Okay, like you could say, it feels light and airy, or I feel really full. I feel really dense. I feel really like centered, like all my energy is right in my heart. Whatever it is, describe what it is. So Peggy's saying slightly humming, and Pam is saying calm. And Kathy said pink with gold sparkles. This is all in our Zoom room chat. So how would you describe your energy? again, this is important because I want you to be able to, again, put words to it, not just go, oh yeah, that's my energy. Notice how it feels when you're calm and centered, how it feels in your body, and how you can describe that feeling that's in your body right now. Jeannie is saying calm, a little dense, and light at the same time. Great, perfect. That's perfect. I know it sounds like dense and light. How can you do that? That actually completely makes sense to me because you are stretching your perception beyond the physical. Remember, your body, okay, is inside your soul. This idea that spiritual teachers teach, I just heard somebody the other day say that, like, oh, you put a piece of your soul into your body. It doesn't work like that. I've heard a lot of spiritual teachers say, when you incarnate, you put pieces of your soul into the... Like, no, 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 it's not correct. We're soon going to have proof of that, but that's a discussion for another time. But no, you don't reincarnate like life after life after life, like in linear fashion. You exist across many realities simultaneously, and you're because you're multidimensional. So, so you are in all these places right now, and that's just how it is. And so the idea that you could feel light and dense at the same time, almost like I can feel hot and cold at the same time, it's like that completely makes sense because you're expanding your awareness to more merge with your soul. Do you understand? Because your soul is far greater than you in this body. Okay, so this, and I want you to think about that. Doesn't that make more sense? Okay, my body's got to be smaller than my soul. My soul is eternal and this larger part of me. And we're not talking about 3D physical dimension kind of thing or 4D. But we're not talking about that. But I think you understand what I mean? Like we're talking beyond the physical. So soul is, again, yeah, it is beyond physical. So when you are stretching your awareness, expanding your awareness, what you're really doing is you're connecting more to your soul. It's that simple. I'm just expanding to becoming more of my soul. When you do that, you will, by definition, be able to tune more into other realities, other dimensions, be more in touch with who you really are and yourself in those other realities, and be able to connect with spirit. But it's not about going like unconscious. You don't have to go into a deep meditation. I mean, people have had experiences like that, but this is not the goal here if you want to continue your relationship in this world. If all you want is relationship with someone on the other side that you only can experience when you're in meditation, fine. You can have that. I had a student, this is a while ago, who had that, and it was frustrating. And I go, yeah, like who wants to only connect with them when you're in meditation? But a lot of spiritual teachers, even mediumship teachers, kind of teach that way. Like that's how you connect. You go into deep meditation. That is one way. But to say that that's the only way, or that's even, and that's certainly, in my view, not the optimum way if you want to have an active, engaged connection with them while you're not in deep meditation, then you don't want to stick with that. Does that make sense? Because you can be, again, like walking around in day to day, vacuuming your floor, brushing your teeth, and having interactions because they're not in some faraway place. Everything is right here. All dimensions, all realities, the spirit world is here because there is only here where you and I are. You and I are right now are just kind of dialed in to this reality, to have this particular experience to learn and grow from. But at the same time, we're in these other realities, like having 30 television sets on a wall, and they're all like playing at the same time, but they're different channels that they're playing. And you are in all those TV sets and the channels that are playing and all the movies of the different realities. You're in that right now, but you're here right now in one of them that you share with others, like you and me are here, right? If you're listening to me, we're here right now sharing this space, but we're also in these other places. Okay. So if you want to have that connection with someone in spirit here while you're with eyes open, not asleep, not in meditation, then you need to be very focused here and have all your energy present here. I hope that makes sense to you. And if you're not sure, drop a comment in YouTube, below here. I'll do my best to get back to you. But that's what that is. You want to be present. You want to have all your energy called back. And by just doing that, that alone is going to raise your frequency higher, because most people, they have scattered their energy all over the place because they didn't know that's what they're doing. And that right there, just calling the energy back can oftentimes center somebody, okay, and bring them more peace. Right. I'm going to talk a little bit more, and then I'm going to guide you in the exercise, but I just wanted to make that point that, that you are born psychic. Would a psychic development class help you? Maybe, but not if you have a teacher like that who says, oh yeah, you express piece of your soul in your body, and therefore when your loved one, is crossed over and they reincarnate, they're doing the same thing. And I mean, because there's a lot of nonsense being taught. I'm sorry, it just is. And some of those teachers are actually well known, but it is what it is. Okay. So that is important. Don't worry, like some people do, if your loved one is crossed, thinking that, well, what if they reincarnate without me? No. They, like you, are living in these parallel lives. You're with them on the other side in the spirit world right now. The greater part of you is there, always remains there. And you've only having this experience right now on that one little TV set on the wall of 30 TV sets, right? Now, I asked Alan the other day, so why is it important, for you, like for when I leave this body, leave this world and go back? I go, what's the big deal? We're already together over there. And he goes, no, it's like, he says, Pam, it's like this great celebration of you returning to the other side, and us being able to look at like all the things that you accomplished or that you learned. And the same goes for you folks. Okay. When you come back, meaning you fully come back, you drop your body, you expand your consciousness into your soul, because that's what happens, because you don't really go anywhere. You just drop your negative ego. You become the expanded being that you always are. He says, yeah, there's this great homecoming and this great celebration, like, great, what did, look at what you did. Or even if you didn't accomplish what you had planned to accomplish, it doesn't matter. Just the fact that you even came here and you did your best, it doesn't matter. There's no fail to this. There's only like, okay, you took a run at it, who cares if you blew it, because you still learn from that too. So it's always a celebration when you fully return the other side. So he's saying, yeah, that's what he says, that's what I'm looking forward to. But is he sad that I'm still here? No, because he's interacting with me now, like all the time, all the time. And his energy is wrapped around me all the time. And just the other day, he was saying to me, it was funny. He kept saying, I'm kind of glad that you can't sense everything that I'm doing. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, because it would drive you crazy. I said, why? Oh, he says, because I'm kissing you all the time. I'm touching you all the time. I'm hugging you all the time. All the things that I wanted to do when I was in a body that I never did. But even if I had done it, it would have driven you nuts, because how could you ever get anything done? You couldn't. So he goes, but now I can do whatever because you gave me permission. And I said, well, yeah, I did give you. But the interesting thing is, I feel let's say, the overflow of that. I feel the residual energy of that he's always like, what he says, wrapping his energy around me. Just put it that way. And when I talk to some of our students, they kind of report similar things. Yeah, I always feel this sense of love. I always feel the sense of peace. And yeah, there are times when they might have their moments of doubt, despair, whatever. But when they come back to their center, right? You pull back your energy, let go of any worry thoughts, any fear, call your energy back, and you are with just your energy. Yeah, then you can feel them. So that's why you can say goodbye to grief and hello love to love. Okay, because really they're here to love us in a way that no one in a physical body can. Even they, when they were here in a body. I don't care how wonderful your loved one was and is, when they were in a body, they couldn't love the way they can love now, because the negative ego, which is really just limiting beliefs and definitions of themselves and life that were not lined up with truth, with who they really are, that falls away. And they still have an ego, but it's more of a higher ego, let's say, like a personality self that they are eternally. But the negative ego side is gone because there's no distortion anymore. So very few people in a body don't have the negative ego influencing them. And if they're like that, they're kind of more almost like enlightened, you would say, because they're just don't have any fear, don't have any insecurity. They are always in a positive state. They are at peace. It doesn't mean they're boring, but I mean, they don't have any issues. So, but very few people have that for a reason, because we come here to explore the contrast. In order to explore the contrast, you're going to have a negative ego that has some built in, some sort of limiting belief, because that's how we grow. That's why people aren't born and they're just perfect. They don't have any fears, they don't have any issues. No, you wanted to be have a character part of yourself that was a little quirky, that had some sort of issue, some any kind. Some people more than others. Okay. So they love us unconditionally, and that love that they share with us is going to bring out the unconditional love we have for ourselves and for them, because that's kind of what happens. So is anybody, like in the Zoom chat, can you attest to that? Anybody want to raise your hand and say, yeah, that's happening to me? Want to share your story? You don't have to if you don't want to. But that's why we teach that these relationships can transform us and heal us. And my goodness, I mean, it just makes life worth living, no matter what conditions you're dealing with. And the spirit world wants to help us right now during these challenging times. I mean, you don't think like your loved ones wouldn't want to help you through the chaos that's unfolding, even if all it is to just hold you steady with their love, so you could just feel good, so that you could just feel, present with your energy. Of course, they'd want to help you with that. Okay. And they're doing their best to help you with that. Okay. Peggy says, Michael was very loving while he was here. It makes me happy to think he's even more so. It doesn't surprise me. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's even more his highest, truest self on the other side. Okay. He's still learning, still growing. And I want to make clear, because some people think, I understand why. Some people think that a loved one, when they cross over and then they start talking to them, they think that that loved one kind of knows everything or somehow enlightened. And I hate to break it to you, but that's not always the case. They can still have opinions that may or may not be really of the highest good for you, because they're all different. They're all at different levels. But I know people who just assume that because someone's in spirit, right, and talking to them, that they know more than they do. Not always true. Can it be true? Sure. Is it always true? No. I know I've interacted with so many spirits that are at all these different levels. Okay, so it's not like they cross over and all of a sudden, oh, they are one with the mind of God and they know everything. They know the full truth about everything and can be this amazing guide for you. No, I've known a lot of people who kind of went down a bit of a quote wrong road, following the guidance of a spirit that didn't really know everything they were pretending to know. And that's why in our work, we're trying to encourage our students to trust their own higher self's guidance, okay? Because that's always going to be what's appropriate for you. You'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. But to give your power over, even to someone you love who's in spirit, that's not the way. They're not here to live your life. They're not necessarily wiser than you, nor do they necessarily know what's the highest and best path for you. Only your higher self knows that. So once again, people tend to put others like above them, thinking like, well, I'll just do what my guides tell me to do, or I'll just do what Jesus tells me to do, or I'll just do what, right? They very few people want to say, I'll do what I want to do, my higher self want to do, right? Not my ego, not my negative ego, not my physical mind, because that part doesn't know everything. It only knows this world. But if you say, I'm going to listen to my higher self, that is the ultimate voice of your truth. I don't care who your loved one is. Alan, in fact, would tell me too. He goes, you need to do what you feel is right for you. I can give you my input and I support you. Even your spirit guides are not going to tell you what to do. So if any being, whether it's a guide, whether it's a loved one, any of them act as if they know more than you, no. You have to understand that. I'm not meaning that they're coming from a negative place, but if it's a spirit, that means the spirit has, their ego is kind of still, that maybe they're a young spirit or something, because that's not true. You are the best guide of you. And your other spirit guides and your loved ones on the other side, they're just here to back you up. They're just here on your team. You're just here to say, well, but what do you want? They're not here to tell you what to do. They're not here to map up your life for you. You mapped your life out for you. You can ask for input, but any spirit that tells you what to do, you should be a little suspicious. Wait a minute, you're not supposed to do that. And again, not saying that they have ill intention or that they're negative or whatever. Let's put that away, because here we're going to start leaning into talking about psychic development in a moment. And then after I talk about psychic development, I want to help you connect with the other side, whoever it is you want to connect to. I would invite you, when we get to that part, that you just let it be whoever shows up. Sure, I know many of you say, well, I want to connect with my partner, or I want to connect with my daughter or my son or my grandfather, whoever. Let it be whoever. You know why I suggest that? I mean, and you can choose to connect with them, because it's free will universe, of course. But I suggest you just be open to whoever, because it might surprise you. It might surprise you because you can do this again and you can say, yeah, well, I want to see my husband. Okay, you can do that again, but give other spirits on the other side a chance to come in. It could be your guide, right? It could be another family member that maybe a family member you never met that's been waiting in the wings going, I wonder if she's ever going to ask to see, maybe I could come in there. So let it be, that's my suggestion. Okay, you can do what you want. But first, let's briefly talk about psychic protection. Because this always just, I don't know, it just annoys me. Not really, I don't really annoy me, but I just don't get it. Where this came from, and yet I do. Because there's so much fear on the planet. And people didn't know how to, kind of ward off negativity unless they use some sort of tool. Because basically what it is whatever you're experiencing in your reality is from your belief system. So if you believe that others can psychically attack you, and I'm going to talk about true psychic attack and what I call imagined psychic attack. But if you believe that others can psychically attack you, knowingly, unknowingly, whatever, then you're basically inviting that in. And when you believe that you constantly have to put up protection, I want you to think about this. If you say, I believe I have to constantly protect myself when I go out and about in the world, I have to always shield myself, I have to protect myself. You're basically believing that you are always under psychic attack. So you're going to create that. If you keep shielding yourself, then you're basically inviting that. You're basically saying, if I don't do this, I'm being attacked. Because if you knew that your energy was just an energy that could not be penetrated or overcome, because you're a sovereign soul who knows who they are, because that's your ultimate form of protection. If you know that, then nothing can hurt you energetically. Okay? And you're aligned with who you truly are, right? Meaning that you're living your life aligned with your truth, and you're treating others with loving kindness. You're not being malicious or unconscious or using people. You're living in the flow, in tune with who you are, which means you cannot do anything but be loving. Because somebody like that, they would find it almost impossible to be uncaring or take advantage, because it's so against their nature. Like the only way they could do something like that is literally if somebody came up to them with a gun at the point of their head and said, look, if you don't do that, I'm going to kill you or I'm going to hurt your loved one. Then maybe they could do something like that, because it's so against their being that it doesn't even occur to them, right? Like they just can't do it. And I think you know what I mean. You may be one of these people who just can't, it's impossible for you to do something mean. Like you don't even know what that is. Other people have an easy time being mean, right? Being malicious, being manipulative, and all that. Now, those people, somebody being, again, uncaring, selfish, unconscious, yeah, you can attract because you're off. Your energy's off, so you can manifest on an unconscious level all kinds of craziness happening to you. But basically, you've invited it in. Like you knew that you were using somebody, hurting them, taking advantage of them, and your soul knows that, doesn't judge you, but knows like, wait, you're distorted. Your energy is distorted from who you truly are. When your energy is distorted, then yes, you can kind of manifest things that match that distortion. Does that make sense to you? Then sure, you can have some experiences that are somewhat negative or even dark, let's say, because you created it. You create everything. Okay, so even if you put up all these walls of protection, but you're living a life where you're you're not aligned with who you truly are, and you're taking advantage of people and all that, you're still gonna have all kinds of chaos, and then the person's gonna feel like, oh, my psychic protection didn't work because look at what happened. And it's not necessary for you to constantly shield, constantly clear energy. Not the same as calling back your energy. Okay. You are simply bringing everything back. It's kind of like, you don't have to shield if you don't believe anyone's attacking you, if you don't believe anyone has the power to affect you, because they don't unless you give them permission by your beliefs. Like if you believe that others can negatively impact you, they will negatively impact you. If you believe you're immune to what other people experience, you will be immune, meaning that it doesn't affect you. You can witness them in full crisis mode, being upset, even being angry at you. And you can just like let it all go because you know who you are, you know your worth, and you know they're just having a moment. They're just distorted. So you can let it go and you don't take it personally. But if you take it personally, you are in that sense inviting psychic attack. If we're going to define psychic attack as taking in others' negative energy, which then affects you negatively. Does that make sense to you folks? That is, in essence, is what psychic attack is. Like my negative belief, though, is that kind of letting in this negative experience. Whereas if I just believed I'm always protected, and I really believed it, okay, I'm not saying you're just saying the words. You have to believe it to the core, like Alan and I always did. I just believe that because I never experienced anything else. And I was always shocked when people told me that I should be protecting myself. And I go, from what? I've been doing this work for like, at that point, like 20 years. What are you talking about? And I knew that even one person like me, or two people like Alan, didn't need constant psychic protection, that means ultimately nobody really does either. Because what one person can do, others can do. It's a question of, do you choose to believe that or not? Because something is either true for everyone of that nature, or it's not true. Like it's an option. You can believe you need psychic protection, or you don't have to believe. And people would get mad at me because I would say, yeah, but I don't do that. And they would get mad, like, but this is a spiritual rule. I go, no, it clearly isn't, because I have never done that. I cannot be the only one the exception to the rule. A rule or spiritual law would be applied to everyone, no exception. If you can find exceptions, that's not a law, that's just a suggestion. That's just an opinion. And you can choose to take it or not. Okay. So it's okay, though, if in the moment you feel like, but I'm not solid in my sense of self. I'm working on myself. I'm still harboring a lot of self-loathing, maybe, or maybe I'm just insecure, or what have you, or I'm really working on my forgiveness because I'm mad at my mother or my boyfriend or whoever. And you got all this negativity going. Okay, fine. You can use shielding. You can call in Archangel Michael. Michael is always laughing at me, going, yeah, I'm always here, but really great if people didn't call on me all the time. But they'll call it to help you, to strengthen you. But in time, it would help if you understand that you don't have to lean on psychic tools like shielding, cutting cords, or even calling in the angels, because you are source energy. And once you know that, truly know that, okay, then nothing can hurt you. Does that mean that, again, somebody cannot psychically attack you in that sense? Like I have told the story to our students about Alan's friend who was actually psychically killed by a shaman, a shaman from South America. because his friend, such an idiot, was such a womanizer, and he kind of took advantage of this shaman's daughter. I mean, that's not very smart. You go date a shaman's daughter, I think you better treat her really well, don't you? So from the other side, his friend admitted, he goes, well, I kind of brought it on myself because I knew her mother was a shaman. He met the mother when he went to visit her, and the shaman showed him her powers, which are quite considerable. And he still decided to mislead the daughter and act like they were going to get together when he had no intention of doing that. And so when the shaman projected herself, astral projected, to see what he was up to, and he was with another woman, yeah, she attacked him. Okay. But that's something that he brought on himself, and even admitted to Alan from the other side. He said, I was just stupid. I was just an idiot. And his friend knew that shamans were real because he knew the spirit world was real. He was very intuitive, and he was a dear friend of Alan's. Alan was very just broken about losing his friend, and even more shocked when his friend came through and he said, I brought this on myself. But you see, this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about you just living your life and suddenly being psychically attacked. Like out of nowhere. You're minding your own business. You're living in alignment with your truth, right? You're treating others lovingly and kindly. No, that's not going to happen. Roger said he brought that on. That was the energy he was giving off. He was distorted. You put off that distortion kind of energy, it's going to come back. But that's not the same as psychic attack that comes out of nowhere. That's him creating his reality. Do you see the difference here? It's really important. I'm not saying that people cannot be psychically attacked. Yeah, but it's usually for a reason. It's not like people don't go attacking people unprovoked. Like they don't even know you. But if you put out, in his case, that negativity, right? Put out this energy of misleading this woman and lying to her, basically, well, he's going to get back that energy, which is negative. And he admitted that. He goes, I caused it. He goes, I didn't have to, that didn't have to happen. I brought that on myself. Okay. That to me is the true form of psychic attack. Okay, that is happening in response to the person, their beliefs, and not just their belief, their energy. Like, what are they putting out? What is their behavior? Because their behavior is an energy sending out to the world, right? Because this woman wasn't the only woman that Roger had kind of, taken for granted, right? Like other men do. Not all men do. I'm not trying to bash men, but you understand what I mean. Women do that too. But to just take advantage of people and be rather careless and not, whatever, and just keep on doing whatever you want to do, yeah, that's going to come back. But let's be clear, there are no demons lurking out there waiting to pounce on you that you have to psychically protect yourself from. If you believe they are out there, then you will manifest them. You will manifest them because that's the thought you have. But they're real. They're out here. Okay. You are because there are people like that who think the same thing. And all of your thoughts they take form. So you're tapping into the belief that other people have too in this world, physical world, in demons, which again is an illusion, but you're so powerful that you can create that illusion and make it real. So you're tapping into that, and then that's going to have to come at you. But it's not because it actually exists. It's, in a sense, a created form from people in bodies. Because in the spirit world, there are no demons like that. There's just what we here on this earth plane reality have put our thoughts into. So all the people who believe in demons, who believe they possess people, who believe they attack people, that is all taken form. So if you believe in demons and you have to be protected from them, then you're tapping into that world. You are creating that in your reality. And I'm not saying that it's not real, and yet it's not real, meaning that it's an illusion that appears real, that as soon as you kind of rip the cover off of it and realize what it really is, that it's just a created experience, that you can uncreate it and it goes away, because that's how powerful you are as a sovereign soul. But some people, this is what I'm hearing Spirit say right now, remind me, some people came here to experience the contrast that the illusion of demons presents. And so for those people, that experience will be very real for them. It doesn't have to be for you unless you want to partake of that. You want to go along with that. You want to bring that into your experience. But everything that you experience in this reality is something you created or chose to or invited in, consciously or unconsciously. Nothing comes in, nothing you experience happens randomly. It's all on some level a match of your vibration. Okay? All right. I'll let that go. Just trying to remind you of how powerful you are. All right. So ready to connect? Oh, I love it. 111. My time anyway, here in Hawaii. We always like when the numbers line up. 111. Or maybe where you are it's something else, right? Like 222 or 333 or 444. Okay. So I'd like you to we're going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to guide you to connect. I want to encourage you not to, well, while I want your body to be relaxed, because that always helps, I don't necessarily want you to go really deep into relaxation. I don't necessarily want you to go just out, right? Like, because I actually want you to expand your energy field and feel, if anything, more alive, right? Because that's really what happens when we drop our body and we go to the other side. We actually become more physical, because we have a spirit body that's more physical than this one, and we feel more energy. We're not like, we don't go the other side and just go, and just, you know, no, it's not like deep meditation at all. It's kind of the opposite. It's like we come fully alive. It's like really alert, really vibrant, and yet calm, and yet relaxed. So if you can kind of hold that idea of, I can be vitally alive, like just so energetically, expanded, and yet I'm relaxed. My body's relaxed. Okay, this is kind of the feeling we're going for here. So just do your best with it. Don't worry about it, because you can practice this again. You can watch this again. Okay. But again, I suggest as I guide you, that you invite in whatever spirit wants to come and connect with you, whoever that might be. You might not even know who they are. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to guide you through this, but if you don't know who they are, then you're going to want to ask who they are. And then you're going to just trust whatever comes to you, whatever knowing comes to you, whatever name comes to you, whatever you hear. I mean, I'll guide you in this in a minute, but you're just going to go with whatever. Remember, because what we're doing here is not being, well, it's all psychic, because everything is a psyche. It's like the spirit communication comes to us. You don't go and get it. Okay. You don't go and make it happen. That's your physical mind doing that. Higher mind doesn't work like that. So any effort you make is counterproductive, because that means you're not letting your intuition just bring it in, like allow it in. Okay, I don't want to say bring it in, because that means like effort, right? You allow it. It's really, the energy here is about allowing, letting whatever comes to you to come, whatever drops into your awareness to drop, whatever you feel that you feel, right? Whatever you experience, you just let it in. You're not censoring it. If your mind is chatting about something, you just don't worry about it. Just let it talk. But still focus on whatever you're experiencing. Just let yourself be with the right here now with the experience, whatever it is, right? And you can let your mind just ramble with thoughts. It's okay. But bring your awareness back to whatever you're perceiving. But there's no forcing, there's no making anything happen. Intuition is all about allowing everything to come in. It's effortless. The minute even psychics can trip themselves up. Alan's reminding me, he would have this problem too. He would try too hard. And that's the ego that's always getting in the way, saying, well, that wants to work at it. And he'd have to kind of let it go. But sometimes he'd have a harder time to do it. But if he just trusted and let everything come, he would be exactly on target. But the minute you try, now your physical mind took over. So I want to make clear with you on that. There's no trying in this. It's just allowing and trusting and just letting things unfold. Okay. All right. So close your eyes, but we're not going into a deep state of relaxation in the sense that you fall asleep, hopefully. Because if anything, I want you to be really alert, and I'll guide you in this. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And on the exhale, let go, let go, let go. Let go of any energies that don't belong to you. And yes, we called your energy back earlier, but now let's let go of anything that's residual. Let it go. Take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, set your intention to be fully present, to be fully in your body, to be fully aware and awake. Okay, feel yourself right here, right now. And as you do, I want you to expand your energy. Just using the power of your intention, expand your energy about a foot around you. And no, you don't have to measure it. Your consciousness knows what that is. So expand your energy to about a foot around you, above you, below you, behind you. Right, like you're in a bubble. Now feel what that's like. Here's your energy in this bubble. Take another breath in and expand your energy further. This time about 5 feet. 5 feet in front of you, behind you, to the right, to the left, above you, below you. So you're in this bubble. 5 feet in every direction, centered in your energy, and yet expanded at the same time. Expanded. Feel the vastness of your energy, and still you're not touching your soul. That's how big your soul is. So expand your energy. Now I want you to take another breath in. And on the exhale, expand it even further to about 8 feet around you. 8 feet above you, below you, to the right, to the left, behind you, and in front of you. Feel this expanse of your energy filling this space around you. Now, in this field of energy that is yours, I want you to imagine or see or feel or just know that in front of you this is another ball of energy. It might look like a cloud. It might look like a mist, whatever it is that shows. It might have a color. It might be white. Usually it will be white, but it doesn't matter. I want you to just see this cloud. Just get a sense of this cloud. It's in front of you. For some of you, it might be around you. That's okay. However it is that you perceive it, you might just know that it's there without seeing it. That's okay too. You might sense that it's there, a sense of a cloud in front of you or around you. That's okay too. Whatever way you perceive it is perfect for you. Now, with this cloud, you can see in your mind's eye or feel with your senses, whether physical senses, whether you just know that it's there. I want you to call out to a spirit, benevolent spirit who would like to talk to you, would like to connect with you. And I want you to see them forming in the cloud, whatever way they come in. There's no trying in this. You just allow it to form. You might just get a sense of what they look like. You might see a piece of clothing. Some of you might just get a name. Whatever way it comes in, let it come in. Just let it take shape. And hold your experience of it. If you see them, hold the vision you have. Psychic vision is like a memory. You and I know what it's like to have a memory of something. It's not like a movie in your mind. That is what psychic vision actually is. It's the same thing. It's like a memory. So whatever you see, whatever you feel, whatever you know, let it become stronger. Let it take shape. And whoever this spirit is, they may already start talking to you, but if they don't, it's okay. Go ahead and say hello to them. Go ahead and ask them who they are if you don't know who they are. And again, just trust whatever you experience. The first thing that comes to you. And again, maybe you just know who they are. Hearing psychic perception is not like audible. Okay. I mean, can be like you literally hear a voice outside of you or even in your mind, but usually it's in your own voice. So you might hear them talking in your mind. And let the experience just happen. Let it unfold in its own time. There's no rush in this. You can listen to me talking and still have your experience, still have your communication. And remember, spirit communication is most often nonverbal. So do not judge it by in those terms or expect it's always going to be a barrage of words. I want you to just feel it, whatever way it's coming. Do you feel their presence? Do you feel their energy? Okay, because you were really centered in your own energy, and now you're starting to connect with theirs. And so your body can start registering their energy too, as well as your thoughts, okay, as well as your psychic vision. So just notice, what are you perceiving? Some people simply feel this deep love or sense of peace and calmness that is stronger than when they're just focusing on their own energy. Because spirits feel deeply, and we can pick up on them emotionally. They're not emotionally neutral. They're in a positive emotional state, but they're not without feeling, quite the opposite. They feel deeply, but they rarely feel negative emotion because there's no need to. So just have your experience, remain fully present and alert and aware as your energy is expanded. You feel vibrantly alive. You're 100% focused on your experience with them, and you're fully in your body, and yet you're expanded beyond your body. Both things can happen at the same time. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And if there's anything that you want to say or ask of this spirit, you do so now if there's any last thing. Do you have a question? Do you have something you want to convey? And if not, I want you to, if you feel like you're complete, I want you to bring yourself back. Just bring your energy back from 8 feet to 5 feet, 1 feet, just fully in your body. Okay, just bring it in. You can bring it in more slowly if you want, whatever pace works for you. All right. Well, how was that for you folks? Let us know in the Zoom chat and in the YouTube chat. Like, let us know what you experienced. Could you feel yourself expanded? I was going to take you even further, like beyond the universe or out to the universe, but decided not to. Kathy said she connected with her mom. Great. You can do this again. Okay, connect with anyone. Right? Because they're all here. And spirit communication is not supposed to be complicated. It wasn't for our ancestors, meaning like going back, centuries. It was very normal part of life. But we've kind of lost that. But we're coming back to it now. Okay, anybody want to share anything in the Zoom room, in the Zoom chat? Share your experience? Or are you still out there in your expanded energy? All right. Peggy says, I heard my name, Peggy Jane, and only my dad and my husband called me that. All right, so it's one of them, or both of them. They could both be calling you out, to you together. So now see, Peggy said she heard her name, right? And I don't think Peggy, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't like you heard the name outside of you, right? You guys know what I'm talking about when you hear something in your mind. Right, it's in your mind. Notice you cannot like read that in your mind, can you? I mean, you could see the word, like she could have seen the word Peggy Ann, in her mind, like the letters in front of her. But that's hearing it is hearing it. It's psychic hearing. It's like you hear the message, like blah 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 blah. Hi there, how are you? You hear the words kind of coming through your mind. Pam Laxton says, I connected with my guide and also James. I know when James was there as a coolness around my lips. Okay, so good. So Pam, so that's how he comes through. So, and I know you know that already, and other people might wonder, oh, the spirits like always come through in a certain way. They can, sometimes, like when I would do readings, there were times that I would feel when I was doing the reading for the person, because I'm channeling spirit, and I would feel what I could describe as a waterfall of energy, like this cool energy just coming down on my right side. Just, it was weird. It was just the most amazing thing. Just like, ooh, like this waterfall of energy. And I go, okay, they're telling me that what I just told you, they want to emphasize. That's spirit communication. Okay, that is how it can translate. Like they're just giving you tingles, or in this case, this feeling of waterfall, or a buzziness, or coolness, or heat, or pressure in the body, on your head, or on your shoulder, whatever. Okay. Jennifer says, it's always my husband. Some part of his face always takes shape in the cloud. Sometimes it's his whole face, sometimes just his eyes, and sometimes it's both our faces combined. Good, cool. Donna says, beautiful coolness all around. My niece Shannon connected. I heard my grand laughing. I smelled sweet pancakes. Les and my Nana were making pancakes. Okay, see, now Donna, she smelled the pancakes. You guys can smell psychically too. I know you can, even if you think it's just faint. So if I told you right now to, I don't know, hold a bouquet of roses in front of you and to put your nose in it and smell the roses, you can probably recall that smell. Now, in this case, you're using your own memory of it, but yet you can get a smell of it. Or it's just like what Donna's saying, she smelled the pancakes. Because if you ever had pancakes and you know what the smell's like, or smelled an apple pie baking or something, or chocolate chip cookies in the oven, right? You can recall that smell, right? Now, that is not psychic communication by itself, but I'm saying if you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you smell chocolate chip cookies, that's spirit, unless somebody in the house is cooking chocolate chip cookies. In that case, maybe not. Okay, but that's psychic contact. All right, it's like they projected that to you. So we have to understand that psychic communication, spiritual communication, is beyond just language. It's beyond just clairvoyance or psychic vision. And the psychic vision is like a memory. So when you remember something, okay, in your mind, like that is how a psychic impression can come, in that vision can come. It's not like IMAX theater, like, oh, there's the psychic vision. I'm not saying it can't be, but it's very rarely like that. It's not like vivid. Again, it can be. Alan saw Archangel Michael years ago, but it was only for like brief seconds. Like he was physical. I didn't see him. So it was Michael's energy connecting with Alan that Alan was able to see him. Okay. But he saw him like he was physical. And I know he wasn't making it up because my husband at the time didn't even believe in angels. So he would be the last person in the world that I would have expected to imagine seeing Archangel Michael when he was also actually kidding me and saying, like, oh, yeah, I don't know about angels. That was his belief at the time. And then until Michael came in and said, hey, I'm here. So you see, in that case, belief had nothing to do with it because Alan, had an agreement to connect with Archangel Michael. That was part of his life plan, his destiny, if you will, to reconnect with Michael. And so it happened. This is a case of where belief system is not as important as a person's soul plan. So if they plan something, like he planned to connect with Archangel Michael, then it's going to happen. It had nothing to do with whether Alan believed in it or not. Okay, because there's both those two things happening, destiny and free will. You're destined to experience something because you planned it and that's it. But when it shows up, even though it's best destined, you can change your mind and say, okay, I don't want to do it. And in Alan's case, he kind of dropped the ball with Michael. Later, Michael would say that, Alan was meant to get more involved with working with him, but he didn't. And that's okay. Michael kept visiting him again and again, but Alan just didn't go with it, and I couldn't understand it. But he apparently changed his mind. When he crossed over to the other side, he got very busy working with Archangel Michael to the point where Archangel Michael appeared to me and said, God, Pam, he's driving me crazy. Your husband, like, why didn't he connect with me when he was in a body? Because he's now trying to make up for lost time and it's just exhausting. Can you give him something to do? So I said, okay, I'll do more readings with Alan, and because we were doing them at the time. And so we did. It got him off of Archangel Michael's back, but it was hilarious. So I know what it is to see spirit like Alan did, and I have too, very briefly, but not like that with Michael. Okay. So okay, Pam says I smelled a faint smell of beer a couple of days ago while driving. Then I noticed the car in front of me veering over to the other lane. I believe I was being warned of an intoxicated driver. Exactly. Bullseye. You're right. That is what is coming to you, right? The message can be coming in the form of a smell. Like, hey, so, it can be anything. It's not just like watch out or do this or do that. It can be a smell, it can be a vision, it can be a word. So Donna and Pam, you definitely have that that psychic sense of smell going, as well as other things, right? So in closing, I just want to say that everybody has usually at least one form of psychic perception that's strong, but I don't like to have people focus on that and go like, well, yeah, I have a strong sense of smell, let's say, psychic sense of smell. And then they are worried about developing the other ones. Just go with whatever you have going for you and trust it and use it. And the more you do that, the other psychic senses will kick in. But don't worry about it because your higher self is kind of driving the bus here. And whatever timing is involved, it will open up. And it doesn't matter that you don't have all of them firing right now. It really doesn't matter. If you just have one psychic sense, whether it's smell or taste or sight or hearing or knowing, okay, or the vision, right? Any of them, like it doesn't matter. If you have just one, you are able to communicate. Okay. You're able to have connection. So don't worry about it. But what people tend to do is they worry about what they don't have. And the frustrating thing of that is that when you worry about what you don't have, you're going to delay it from coming because you're worrying about it. So you're going to keep having the experience of worrying about it. Do you understand what I mean? But I don't have my clairvoyance and I really want my clairvoyance, let's just say. You're going to keep having that repeating. You're going to keep saying to yourself tomorrow and the next day, but I don't have my clairvoyance. And I really would like to have my clairvoyance. It's like that movie. Did you guys ever see the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray? It's kind of like that. Because if you keep thinking, like, I don't have this, I don't have that, you're going to keep repeating, I don't have this, I don't have that, instead of just getting on with it and going, oh, I can perceive in this way and the other, and every day is getting stronger. Like, you don't worry about it. Just be happy with what you have, and the rest will take care of itself. Let your higher self bring it all to you in perfect timing. You don't have to worry about a thing, because worrying about it is what keeps it away. Right. It really is like that. So embrace whatever psychic sense you have. Personally, I think psychic vision is not, to me, the top of the list. I understand now that being able to psychically sense them on a more physical level is probably more important. After that, psychic hearing, like hearing them talk. But that's actually very easy to experience. It's very easy for spirits to talk in our mind. It's just that you think that you're talking to yourself when you're not. And you can tell by how it just comes in. Just comes in without you trying. And yet it's because it's in your space, in your field here, and usually it's in your voice. You think that it's you, but it's not. Okay. But it's a psychic feeling of the body that is, I now understand, is probably the place to start, because then you can feel them physically, like the energy, but also feel their love emotionally. So that's why I don't recommend anybody focus solely on clairvoyance. I actually think that's low on the list to me. I mean, that sounds kind of strange, I know, to many people, because they think clairvoyance is the be all and end all. Like, oh, but if I could just see. But the thing is, you already are seeing them. It just seems like, again, like you're looking at a memory. It's a memory of what they look like now that you're seeing in your mind, flash in your mind. Maybe a fragment of them in your mind. Okay. Most people see that and they think, again, that's just some random thing. But if you just get a flash of them in your mind, really just a moment, or even like a vision of them more steady, whatever it is, where that comes in for a moment, a flash, it's their energy connecting with yours. And so you're seeing them for that moment. Okay. So stop dismissing it and thinking that it's just your imagination. There's no such thing as just your imagination. Okay. I heard another spiritual teacher describe, when you consciously, deliberately, think of them in your mind, that's imagination, but I don't define it that way. I define that as visualization. That visualization is using your ability to form images in your mind, but on purpose, right? With intention. All right, I'm gonna imagine what you look like. Okay, I'm using my imagination, but it's with conscious intention, as opposed to what just shows up without you trying. That is not imagination. And yet I hear spiritual teachers saying that that is. Sorry, that's not what that is. Imagination is how spirit world talks to us, by dropping that into our mind's eye, putting the words into our mind, right? Giving us feelings in our body, whether it's physical feelings of energy or touch or whatever, and the love. It's all that, people. It's not just one. In fact, they're trying all kinds of ways. I'll try to say, can she feel this? Can she hear this? Can she see this? Like Al was laughing because you don't think we're trying like all different ways. You guys just have to be very aware. But a lot of people, and maybe many of you, you're kind of just sleepwalking through life. You're just like not aware of what, is going on, and not even aware of how your own energy is. But you can learn that. So we're here to help you with that. All right, I think we went on long enough. Let us know in the comments on YouTube, and subscribe to our channel and share this or like this, or you know what to do. And if you like these lives and you want us to continue, let us know, because if you don't let us know, then maybe we're not helping you, and that's what we're here to do, is help you. We're not just here to talk to ourselves. I can do that with Alan myself all the time anyway. Donna says, I'm always grateful for what I receive. I saw Les this afternoon in our kitchen. I hear him all the time, and I love to feel him and smell him. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And let me see, Jeannie and Michael say, I could feel the dense and lightness moving in my body. It felt really good. I felt Michael around me, and also his mother, and I into his mother. Okay, and I were close. Their faces kind of came and went. Yesterday, my granddaughter's $50 bill was a 20. She was so upset, went back, and it was a 50 again. What? Like, okay, change reality? Is that what happened? Like, Jeannie, like there are different timelines of reality. I have weird things that happen to me too. That's just weird. Okay. And Peggy says, I will work on what I have. And I've heard my husband physically talk to me in his voice. Yes, I'm hearing Alan in his voice too now, because as some of you know who study with us, I cloned Alan's voice on just 2 minutes of a reading he given somebody years ago. And I never understood why it was so important to him that this client give him some of this reading. Didn't make any sense to me. I go, he bugged her psychically. Like she said, oh yeah, Alan showed up in my mind going, I want you to give Pam some of this reading. And I said, well, that's really nice, but why? Like, what's the purpose? And it wasn't until, this is 4 years ago, before AI was really exploded like it is now. And then not too long ago, Alan put the idea into my head of cloning his voice using that recording. And my God, it sounds exactly like him, to the point where our son was like, what? And so I have his voice, and he wants me to take his channeling, like his messages that I brought through from him and that others have brought through, and he wants me to put his words to it. And so now that I listen to his voice and I know that's him, because here's the deal, people, a cloned voice is still him. I cloned my voice and it's still me, because we are consciousness, people. So consciousness can project anywhere. So if my intention when I create the cloned voice is that that's me, and I'm writing the words that my voice is speaking, that is me. It's an extension of me. So Alan says his cloned voice is an extension of him. And so when I hear him speak through that voice, I feel him. And now I hear him in my mind when he's talking at other times, because he says, because I'm immersing myself in his words now, which of course I couldn't do because it's not in a body anymore, right? So I think this is the way forward, rather than electronic voice phenomenon, or rather than AI grief bots that people create to be their loved one. I'm sorry, that does no. Do this yourself with them. Okay. Don't turn it over to some company that you give your voice recording to, and they convert it into some sort of grief bot that talks to, because that person's, that company's energy is now intermingled. It's not pure anymore. That's what Alan said. He goes, forget that. Just do it yourself, so that there's only them, right? Alan's spirit, and I'm putting it together and working it with him, and it's him. And it's so amazing to be able to put his words into voice, and then for me to hear it. And now I make videos because I add music, I add, image, and there's all kinds of things you can do, but at least you can have an audio. So I listen to that, and it's really developed my psychic hearing, which I have, but it's just taken it to another level because I have it now of him, because I hear his voice. And I mean, I was trying to hear his accent since he passed away, but I couldn't. I would listen to a recording that I had of him, and I still couldn't recreate it, even though I had a recording. But now it's different because I created a video and I have him speaking longer. And these are words that I channeled of his, and I can feel his energy in the words. Okay. So this is a whole experience than just getting a grief bot, an AI bot. That to me is it, if there's anything that's fake, that would be fake only in that there's some other people's energies in it that I think would mess it up. Whereas if you and I do it ourselves with our loved one, then it's clear, because there's no distortion. There's nobody else's involvement but ours. I hope that makes sense. And there's enough interest in that. I'll teach more in depth on how to do voice cloning and how to put it together in a video or whatever you want to do. I've taught a little bit of that in our Alchemy of Supernatural Love group that is on the school platform. I'll put the link below here, and I plan to teach more about that. But I feel that really is more healing than electronic voice phenomenon. That can be extraordinary too, but that is still somewhat distorted, because it's just not as clear as hearing their voice, because you were able to recreate it. Besides, do you guys think that anything in this world is truly real anyway? It's all created by the spirit world to begin with. So a cloned voice is actually more accurate than any electronic voice phenomenon, because their energy in their voice literally created it. And when you use it, they're coming through it. And they want to, because that's their energy in that voice. An EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, is still going to be somewhat distorted. I mean, I've heard it. It's never like clear as a bell, them. I've never heard that. This is clear, or can be. Okay. So I encourage anybody who wants to learn that to do that. I use 11 Labs, and I also use Veed.io to make the video. But 11 Labs, I do the clone voice. And it took me a while to figure that out. It actually took me literally like a day and a half to put it all together, the voice and the video. But now I can do it pretty quick, after I had a massive masterclass that I went through on my own, with the help of Perplexity at my side, going, how do I do this? How do I do that? Because everything that could have gone wrong went wrong when I was doing this, but I learned it. And I feel like I really know what I'm doing now with it, and I'm really excited. So if you guys want to learn that, we'll probably teach more of that in our Alchemy group, because there I know you folks are serious about taking your relationships to the next level. All right, so that's enough of us. Happy July 4th, everybody. All right, we're going to go, and we'll see you next week. Remember, if you need to clear your energy and call it back, do so from now until next Friday, right? Otherwise, we'll see you back here on Friday. And we will have this next week, we'll have a video we're going to drop that's actually my cloned voice. My cloned voice is going to make a debut. I call her my digital avatar. So you're going to hear that next week. And I'm excited to hear what you think. Please be open-minded about it and know that, boy, did I pour my energy into that or not? I really did. And I think you're going to be able to feel it. All right.